What up, everybody? Welcome back to the Cafecito and Kane show. Sorry for the slight delay. I'm a few minutes late. Little issue with the mic, but I got it fixed. But how we doing? How we feeling? That is that was something last night. That was the biggest comeback. I want to say since 1999 when we had that 4-touchdown comeback against BC. I believe that was Kenny Kelly up in Boston College. I kept the whole time watching that game, I kept thinking about the Florida game in 2003 that probably a lot of us were at in the Orange Bowl. I definitely was there. In that game, we were down 33-10. So it was actually, that was a 23-point comeback. And we actually had more time in that game to come back. This one, we had a little less time and it was a 25-point comeback. So, but I knew, doing like the math in your head, it's just like, okay, if we score here, we have a chance. I was doing that game with myself. I had the remote in my hand, literally. I was like, okay, if we don't convert this fourth down, I'm turning it off. Like, it's done. Like, all right, if we don't score on this drive, I'm turning it off. Like, that kind of thing. And I just was never able to turn it off. Miami kept keeping the game alive. They kept making plays when they needed to, even when we convert. And there's a penalty on Sam Brown for offensive pass interference, which, by the way, go back and watch it. That was not even close to being offensive pass interference. But notice how we didn't complain about it. We just huddled up. We went back on the very next play and scored. And, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay. Sometimes you're not going to get the calls. Sometimes you will, and we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, Miami just did not quit. And that's one of the positives I take from this. While they're not, I think, as great a team as we all thought coming out of the gate, coming out of that blowout victory against Florida, I think a lot of people got excited. Then the blowout of FAMU, which obviously we expected. Then we put 62 points on Ball State and shut them out. People were starting to feel themselves a little bit. The fans, the team, I'm sure. And then, USF exposed something, I thought, in Miami's defense. They realized that if they spread us out, they get rid of the ball quick, they kind of neutralize that front four of ours, where if they don't, as long as teams don't have to get into drop back mode against us, they know they're in the game. Notice on that final drive by Cal, they had to go into drop back mode and we started teeing off on them. So that's why us getting off to fast starts is so big, and it will be for the rest of the season. But I digress. Offenses realize that you spread us out, make us make one-on-one tackles, make us have to communicate, where there's mental breakdowns in something like that, where you spread us out like that and you're getting rid of the ball quick, it could lead to touchdowns. And that's what happened last night. A lot of big plays. The big plays have killed our defense this year. They have to work on that. The good thing, though, is we are going into the bye week 6-0, and I couldn't be happier and more relieved about that. I was when we were like 4-0, I was like, man, if we can just win these last couple of games, get to 2-0 in the ACC, get to the bye week undefeated, that would be huge, because then you can kind of regroup. You can work on your tackling, on your communication, on all those missed assignments. You could really sit down and focus on watching tape on yourself, as opposed to, all right, we got to prepare for the next opponent in a few days. So this bye week honestly could not have come at a better time. And also, we have a lot of banged up guys on defense, so it gives us an extra week to get healthy. So that's all big. But I will say that a lot of character shown by this team, while what I was getting at before is, I don't think we're as great as we thought we were. I think this is a good team. I think they're a solid team, better than last year, but not quite where we need to be just yet, competing with, the national powers like the Ohio States and the Texases of the world. But the team has character. The team does not quit. And that's a testament, honestly, to Mario Cristobal, because we have not had that since the early 2000s. We haven't had that since that 2003 season, probably, when we came back against Florida. I haven't seen it since. So great job by them, not giving up, coming back, showing what they're capable of, really, in that final quarter and a half of the game where we went on a 29-3 run. That's what this team is capable of. Honestly, if they can just, again, limit the big plays, don't get caught, leaving their tight end wide open running down the sideline. Don't get caught on a blitz where, either somebody missed an assignment on that 4th and 1, or, somebody got caught in the mesh, or somebody, or Guidry just called the wrong play. Initially, I thought it was that, but it's like, man, I find it hard to believe that Guidry didn't have somebody back in coverage, or want somebody back in coverage in case somebody peeled out to the flat. I mean, Guidry's one of the better DCs in America. He knows what he's doing. That being said, though, he is still the man in charge of that unit. So whatever's broken on that defense, whatever's broken in the secondary, he's got to sit down with them and figure it out. So, now I'm not saying the season could fall apart necessarily, but you can lose a couple games more than you should because of that defense. So this bye week is huge. They need to go in and get that fixed. Offensively, points to the positive first. We were able to run the ball, actually. I think Fletcher had 11 carries for 84 yards or something. He looked really good running the ball. We established the running game early. We, used we pulled a little bit more. It wasn't just straight up the gut between the guards. It was actually, a little more variety, a little more creativity in the running game. And that was good to see. And it worked. And that bodes well for the next few games, because now the running game is a legitimate option that they have to prep for, that's big for us. And that takes a little bit of pressure off of Cam Ward. Obviously, Cam doing what he did to bring us back, to bring us from the depths of hell of almost losing that game to pulling off the win, was massive. Such a great leader. On that note, though, that pick 6 that he threw, I don't know what the hell that was. I mean, that is football quarterbacking 101. They teach you that day one of learning how to play quarterback, that you do not throw back across your body like that against the grain, because there's going to be a safety or a linebacker waiting for that ball. Obviously, he thought he saw something there, and he thought he could take advantage of it, and you saw what happened. It kind of broke the game open. He just throws that ball away. Who knows? It's only 21-10 at that point. Maybe we got to stop and the ball back, and it's still a close game early in the third, late in the second quarter. So, that definitely, one thing on offense that I think needs to be fixed is that O-line needs to continue to get better. At times, they didn't do a great job protecting Cam, but then most of the time, I feel like Cam got himself into trouble just sitting back there and sitting back there and sitting back there for 15 minutes. Your O-line can only block for so long. You got to help them out. You got to get rid of the ball quickly. And I noticed Cam Ward, it seemed like he figured something out during the game. Hopefully that clicks for the rest of the season. He got himself into trouble early in the game, just like he did against Vatek. Trying to do too much, essentially. It was his problem. Once he stopped trying to do too much, and he just took what the defense gave him, even if it was a short little dump off, even if it was like your third or fourth read, a little quick out, something in the flat or over the middle. He took it. He took those little dink and dunks, and that opened things up. And the announcers even said it. If he's patient, he's going to be fine. I feel like the defense needs to adopt that. Just keep things in front of you. Don't allow the big plays. If they get a first down, fine. Stop trying to be a hero. And just do your job. That's all you got to do. Look, Lance Guidry, yes, he's got to fix some things, but I don't think he all of a sudden forgot how to call this defense. Something's wrong there on the back end, and they got to figure it out. Whether it's player related or him, they got to figure it out. But anyway, largest comeback since 2003. We're rewinding time and winning close game, beating the teams we should. VTech is legit. Cal is legit. Just like Vandy is legit right now. Got to respect those teams. I totally agree with you. If you noticed, VTech stomped Stanford like 31-7 or something. Cal was coming into this game 3-1. Yeah, they inexplicably lost to FSU. I don't know how that happened, but I guess FSU was going to get one at some point. But FSU was only able to put 14 on them. We put 39. So bit of a different story. Cal's not a bad team. I think VT is is better. Cal's not a bad team, though. Vandy just knocked off number 1 Alabama. So I think if what yesterday proved with all the top 10 teams going down, what yesterday proved is that winning is hard and we can't take it for granted. We're 6-0. It's hard to go 6-0. I don't care who you're playing. If you're in a Power 4 conference and you're playing a Power 4 schedule, it is hard to win. And we're pulling these wins out. A lot of teams can't say the same. Alabama went down. Tennessee went down inexplicably. Let's see who else. Missouri got their doors blown off by Texas A&M and a few other teams. I think 5 teams in the top 11 went down between Friday and yesterday. Robbie Duke says I turned it off at the half. I was tempted, man. I almost did. And you know what? Down 35-10, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But let me take a quick little hydration break. Cheers. Little cafecito. I needed it today. Woke up at like 7:30 Miami time. I went to bed like at 2:45 or something. Woke up at 7:30. Couldn't fall back to sleep. Still, mind racing. Took a nap in the middle of the day, so I got a few hours back. But yeah, definitely needed the coffee. Took all I had to keep watching, no doubt. Yeah, same here. I was like one play away from turning it off for like a quarter and a half, literally. Why is Jojo not playing over Brown? All he do is drop the ball. Yeah, let's talk about that really quick. Sam Brown did not have a good game. He had a huge drop, which would have put us at the very least in field goal range. I think it was before the half. It was 21-10. It would have, worst case, we kick a field goal and it's 21-13 and we get a little momentum back. It's a 1-possession game. He drops it. Not good. Gets called for the pass interference, but that was a BS call. I think we can all agree. They went out of their way to not show the replay. I don't know if you noticed that, but in real time, you can just watch it on YouTube. Doesn't even get close to the guy. I mean, horrendous call. Terrible. And yeah, he didn't perform great last night. I would like to see the youngsters like JoJo Trader get a little bit more burn. Even if it's like 10 snaps or something, get like 3 or 4 targets. I would like to see that because JoJo's a burner. He's talented. I mean, look what you see what freshman receivers are doing around the country. I'm not saying he's these guys, but Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith. They're great players, obviously, and they're being used by elite teams. We can't be afraid to throw him out there. JoJo, he might be just like a notch behind those guys, but he's not. I mean, he's a stud. JoJo Trader, I would love to see him out there a little bit more. Chris Johnson, same thing. I think he only got like 1 touch on offense. I need to see a little bit more of him. Yes, I know we said the same thing about Brashard Smith last year. I don't care. Like, put him in. He's too fast. You don't leave the Lamborghini in the garage. Take him out. Take him for, take the Lamborghini for a spin. It could lead to touchdowns. Now we keep playing defense like we will lose down the road. Conversely, Cam needs to take what defense gives him. 100%. Yeah, that's just what I was saying. If Cam just takes what the defense gives him from the opening drive, because we marched down the field. I think it was our second drive. Marched down the field, scored, made it look easy. If we just take what's there, I mean, the rest of the first half can go like that. And yeah, we'd make it scored on a couple times, but putting points on that other team early is going to help the defense. Because let's say you have a 14-point lead early. The other team has to kind of change the way they're calling plays. And they have to go into drop back mode, like I said. And guys like Tyler Barron and Ruben Bain, thank God he's back. Simeon Barrow, Akeem Mesidor, they're going to start pinning their ears back and getting to the QB. That's how you do it. It starts with our offense, but we can't keep like stalling out early, having these empty drives, turning the ball over. It's because of Cam trying to force things and trying to test, teams down the field. It's just, especially last night against Cal, where they play a lot of zone. Take what they give you. Take what they give you. They're going to start to creep up. Get those 5-6 yard runs, which was working last night. They're going to start to creep up. Then the big play will be there. You just got to be patient. John, how'd you like the running game? Yeah, I touched on that earlier. I love that we established the run early. Fletcher, I think right now is the best running back on the team. We're halfway through the season. And yeah, Robbie Dukes seconds that, I think. Fletcher or Johnson. I don't know about Johnson starting, but I mean, like you want a between the tackles kind of runner, like a bit more of a bruiser that can start and carry that load and at least get like 15 to 17 carries. Fletcher's your guy. And he's deceptively fast. So I think right now he's the best running back on the team. Kyle whiffs a lot on the back. Yeah. Our safeties in general did not look good, unfortunately. They created a lot of mismatches, and that's the back end stuff that I'm talking about that they really need to fix. 100% agree. Fletcher is producing more. He has consistently looked like the best back. I think now you're halfway through the year and you got to make a decision and be like, okay, this kid is a sophomore, homegrown kid, recruited him out of American Heritage. He's our guy. It's not like, he's a guy from the past coaching regime or something like that. That's our dude. And this is what we expected him to do. So if he's earned it, put him in. I mean, he looked really good last night. And that was only like 11 or 12 carries or something. Miami fans struggle with emotions. Yes, we do. Can you blame us? Before I forget, so we'll get into the whole targeting, not targeting thing right now. So all the people on Twitter that think we're paying off the refs, I mean, that's hilarious because let me just say this. The VTech game, because I didn't really touch on it much on my show last week, my post-game recap, against VTech, that was not a catch. That was 1,000% unequivocally not a catch. I mean, there's nothing you can convince me otherwise. I saw the replay. I have eyes and I have a brain. The ball was moving. Isaiah Horton took it away. Not a catch. Sorry, ball game. So I don't know what people are still complaining about with that. Then this game, you had the targeting call, or it wasn't called, against Wesley Besaint. Fernando Mendoza, who really, the only one I feel bad for in this whole equation is him. He played a great game. Columbus kid, local Miami kid, grew up right by campus, grew up a Canes fan. Love Mendoza. Played great. Played his ass off. I thought he did a great job. Earned a lot of respect from me. The whole Cal team, honestly, a lot of respect goes to them. They were prepared. They were well coached, and they made a lot of plays. They came to play for sure. Obviously, Mendoza after that hit, hopefully he's okay. He tried to run for a first down. Game pretty much on the line. Wesley Besaint comes, puts a big hit on him. Both announcers initially said, oh, that looked clean. That it looked like it was with the shoulder. Then looking at the replay, it looked like the helmet kind of snuck in there as well. I was like, oh, here we go. They're going to call it targeting, and the game's going to be over. Although we still had 3 timeouts, we could have still stopped them and had a little time left, but that would have made it way harder. So lowers his head a bit. And honestly, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that kind of looks like targeting to me. I know that might not be a popular opinion with you guys. And I'm like, yeah, that could be targeting. We might, they might get us here. And then the call comes out, ref comes out, and after looking at it for a while, which usually is a good sign for it standing, comes out and says, ruling on the field stands. Huge relief. But that relief was followed by, oh no, oh great, here we go. Here's the online hate, which whatever, I welcome it. I don't care. So that one kind of went our way. Now, as a fan of a team that has had a national championship taken away from them because of bad refereeing, because of a bad call, and last year who had the Georgia Tech game taken away from us because of a fumble that was not a fumble, clear as day on the replay. 2 safeties taken away from us that one of them could have changed the trajectory of that FSU game. As a fan who had to witness that in his lifetime as a fan, along with a lot of other blown calls, I'm sorry, I have no sympathy for you. For all, the Cal fans, and you guys were very respectful. I appreciate you. But all the Cal fans and all the other haters that were praying for us to lose this game, that are going online and, saying, Miami robbed them or whatever. Listen, I feel bad for none of you. Okay. Sometimes football's cruel. And you know what? Here's the other thing. Cal had a million chances to ice that game, to get a fourth down. How many times did we convert on fourth down or on a third and long? Cal had multiple chances to ice that game and put us away. They couldn't do it. They blew a 25-point lead at home. That's on you. You want to blame one call? Fine, be my guest. But I really do not care. Let's see if I miss anything here. JoJo dropped the pass from Cam. The Finns won. Yeah, I really hope the Finns just tank. They really should not have won that game today. I'm actually more upset that they won. Anyone see we have more offensive yards than in that 2019 LSU? I did see that. Somebody posted that this week. That team plays a tougher schedule, but I'm not saying we are that team, but it is pretty wild that we're putting up more yards. I mean, the amount of yards Cam is putting up so far this season is insane. I think we had 579 of total offense in this game. Amazing. Bain and Barris are disrupting Cal in the fourth. Ruben Bain, it took him a little while to get his sea legs back, but it was good to see him make his presence felt in this game. Without Ruben Bain, I don't think we win. There was a couple of plays there that we had to make, some pressures that really forced a stop that helped us get the ball back. Now, that's, again, if they're getting rid of the ball quick with screens and all that stuff, it kind of neutralizes what Bain and Barron can do. But if you jump out to a fast start on offense early, jump out to a 10-point, 14-point lead, that's when those guys can really tee off and our secondary can get some takeaways. Yeah. Louisville, G-Tech, and Syracuse will not be easy. I 100% agree. That's why we got to fix some things in this bye week. And we got to get healthy. Our D's not dominating as we thought. We have one of the best defensive lines in the country. Excuse me. Is our DBs, let us know. You're talking about DBs, our secondary? Yeah. No, that's the weak point. And linebackers to a degree as well. D-line is obviously the best unit on our defense for sure. Let's see here. Does anyone know what Damari Brown injury is? I don't want to talk about injuries because do I know what it is? Maybe. But we're not going to talk about it on the show. It's Mario said that he's going to be out a little while. Hopefully we see him. Hopefully we see him at least for that last stretch run, those last few games of the season, because Damari, he's valuable. And I think the secondary is starting to show how important he was, because the Gators tested us deep a couple of times and he was in coverage both times, neutralizing a big play, forcing incompletions. Damari's a stud. He's valuable. I hope he's back soon. Again, the bye week really helps. So, we'll see. We'll see if we get him back. But it's not like we have a lack of talent. We have enough talent back there. We have enough talent on this defense, enough speed, enough athleticism. I think we're going to be okay. The defense, again, just stop trying to be heroes. Stop trying to do too much. Just make enough stops during the game that we can pull away and have a comfortable win. The offense, you don't have to hold teams to under 10 points. You don't have to dominate to that extent. If we're holding teams to under 28 points, under 27, 28 points, that's a W. I think we can all agree with that. I disagree with you. It wasn't targeting. The things that make it questionable, again, I'm saying I thought it was when I watched the replay. The reason I thought it was targeting, again, a bit of a lowering the crown of the head, but again, that happens on almost every hit. I don't think it was a dirty play by Wes by any means. I think it was just a good hard-nosed football play. He's just trying to make a tackle. But here's the thing. Mendoza is a runner. He's not, when he takes off and runs, he's not considered a quarterback anymore. Those same rules don't apply. He is a runner. So when he lowers himself, That's the thing that makes it murky. When Mendoza kind of lowers himself, he shrinks the target, and where West was kind of going towards his chest, now they went helmet to helmet. That's why I don't think it was a dirty play by any means. Mendoza did, if you look at the angle, especially from the front where Mendoza's running at you, he really, braces for the hit and lowers himself. So, that's what makes it kind of muddy. And if you say you can't overturn it because of that, them's the breaks. Sorry. Demari was in a boot and a scooter. Speed. Safety's got cooked by. Yeah, Jay Singh, that wasn't a speed thing. That was a being in the wrong place thing. I don't think that wasn't speed. Believe me, we wouldn't have slow safeties on this roster. Mario wouldn't go recruit them. Yeah, I agree. We need Fins to tank and draft Cam. Listen, if Cam can fix that whole mental thing he has of trying to force it, yeah, I would be very happy if Cam was a Fin. I'd be happy with Shador. I'd be happy with Jalen Milroe. I'd be happy. I mean, any of those guys in McDaniel's offense would be insane. Nico from Tennessee, I think, is still a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he comes out yet. It's either a sophomore or a redshirt sophomore. One of the two. But, yeah. I'd be happy with any one of those. The scheme is terrible. What do you think this team would have done with TVD at quarterback or Manny Diaz as head coach? Bro, we'd be like 3-3 right now. 100% we'd be 3-3. We would have quit last night. We would have quit against VT. VT would have beat us by like 17. We would not have beaten Florida. Those are your 3 losses right there. We probably beat USF by the skin of our teeth. And then you beat Ball State and FAMU. That is a typical start to the season for the last 20 years. Manny at head coach for sure. That's what happens. TVD, it kind of depends which TVD shows up. For sure, they played a lot of zone against us. I don't think he would have fared well. Targeting rule needs to be evaluated when you are running with the ball. You are not defenseless. That's what makes the whole thing, it muddies the waters a bit. This is how I think targeting should go. If you're running with the ball and you're lowering yourself or you're bracing for a hit, it's bang, bang. I don't think it should be targeting. It's more like the targeting rule was made if you're going up for a pass over the middle or something and it's above your head and someone literally launches themselves like a torpedo at your face mask and tries to take your head off. That's targeting. That's what the rule was made for. All this stuff where it's a hit, inside the 10-yard box, which, by the way, how often do we see those? Within that tackle box on running plays, a linebacker or a safety comes in and pulverizes a running back, in that crowd. How often is that not called? All the time. That's not, in my opinion, that's not what targeting was made for. Okay. There's hard collisions. There's always going to be. You can't make it so that tacklers have to think twice, completely change the way they tackle. It's like, dude, it's football at the end of the day. Again, by no means was it a dirty play. Did the helmet kind of sneak in there? Yeah. I was nervous when they were reviewing it. But man, what about Mendoza sliding? What about, he knew he was going to take a hard hit. He braced for it. And that's it. But yeah, I think that needs to be clearly evaluated in the offseason and just it's this or this. Let us know. So that way we know the rule is anytime you lower your helmet at any point, targeting, what is it? John, we got lucky on that last touchdown. The refs missed that one. What are you talking about? What did they miss? Easy. I know Cam was unbelievable late in the game, but he leaves the pocket too soon. I think he stays in the pocket a little too much sometimes. There's times where he's running backwards, and I'm like, dude, if you had bailed 2 seconds before, you have a first down. I think he waits too long sometimes. Leaving the pocket, I'm fine with him doing that because that buys you an extra couple of seconds. You leave the pocket, you're like, okay, I can see down the field. There's no line in front of me now. but they were playing zone very well. So it was too many men downfield. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'll get into that in a second. It was they were playing really good zone, so it was hard to find a soft spot in the zone when he rolled out. But he's got to pull the trigger a little sooner. Either throw it away, take off and run, get your 5 yards or whatever. He's just got to decide a little quicker and take the safe play. There are too low down the field and pass through. That was a running play. Maybe you guys can school me a little bit, because the way I saw it, that was an RPO. You're faking the handoff, but then you pull it and you throw. So even an RPO, you can't go downfield, because the linemen think, remember, on an RPO, the linemen don't know what you're going to do as a quarterback. They don't know if you're going to throw it or if you're going to run it. And he held it an extra second or two. So what's a lineman supposed to do? Maybe you guys can let me know. Like, does the rule still apply? You can't go downfield? Yeah. Well, again, how many times over the years have refs missed something against us, or not called something or whatever? I don't care. Okay. Not before the ball is released. Okay. All right. Again, we got away with a couple things. They also got away with a couple things. There was early in the game, we were driving down the field. I think it was tied at 7. This was early in the game. Or we were down 14-7. We're marching down the field. We hit, I want to say it was Sam Brown actually down the sideline. We hit a big first down to Sam Brown. And there was a real ticky-tack, unsportsmanlike conduct against Jacoby George, where there was a little pushing and shoving after the whistle. There was a lot of chippiness in this game. Little pushing and shoving after the whistle. And they call it on Jacoby. Nothing on the other guy. It's not like Jacoby threw a punch or anything. Like, just a little pushing and shoving. They call it on Jacoby. 15 yards, kind of kills our drive, kills our momentum. I thought that was a bad call. So, it goes both ways. Manny was a good D coordinator, but bad head coach, recruiter, and developer. Yes. Yep. I think we've established that. Don't care. A win is a win. Yeah. Look, this is honestly, I believe this is retribution for last year. All the BS we had to endure as fans, it's retribution for last year. Maybe karma's rewarding us after what we had to suffer through. Not just last year, for the last 20 years. And he says, should go up tempo in the first to wear teams out. Not a bad idea. Or run it down their throats to wear them out. Either way, wearing them out early is a good idea. 3K, I'll get to your question now. Speaking of bad calls, I don't know why this one popped into my head, because it's hard to, sometimes it's hard to pick out one from over the years, but I remember in the Orange Bowl in 2017 against Wisconsin, Trent Harris comes off the edge, has a clear path to the quarterback. He beats the tackle. He's about to destroy the quarterback for a sack. It would have knocked him out of field goal range. Would have been a huge stop for us in that game. He gets held blatantly, like blatant hold. It's not called. They end up scoring a touchdown. Mark Richt is livid, even grabs the ref at one point. I know there was a controversy there. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but I don't know if you guys remember that one. That was, this idea that Miami, all of a sudden they're the ACC darlings. Come on. I know better, because, again, I have eyes and I've been watching for a long time. And I think in that same game, Lawrence Cager, he was trying to go deep for a ball and he got grabbed. Someone even snapped a picture of it on Twitter and his jersey got pulled. Yeah. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if you guys remember those particular ones, but those are ones that pop into my head in a big, in a big time game, in a big time moment. But yeah, my point is bad calls go both ways. You can't sit there and cry about it. I've learned that as a Canes fan. It's you cannot leave it in the hands of the refs. You can't. because it could go your way. It could not go your way. You can't leave it in the hands of the refs. If you do, that is on you. John, thoughts on Kiko missing so many one-on-one tackles? I know. Kiko's not playing as well as he normally does. I agree. But that just takes a little more effort from our guys to swarm on the football. You got to help him out. Maybe seeing a little bit more of the younger linebackers and, and playing with a little bit more of a lead, like I said earlier. I think that takes a little pressure off him. But yeah, no, Kiko has not played up to par this year, because last year he was a tackling machine. He's missed a few this year that have cost some big plays, but he's a great player. He got the interception to end the game last night. I have no doubts that he'll finish strong. He knows what he's doing. He's a veteran. I really think the unsportsmanlike penalties should be reviewable and put against the first person to do something. More of those calls should be reviewable, in my opinion. We've gotten screwed way more than calls going our way. Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. Let's see. Oh, I already got that one. By the way, thank you for the donation, Andy. Appreciate it. Question on that last winning drive. Why was Horton called for offensive PI? It wasn't. Wait, on the last game when Horton was called for PI? The offensive PI I remember, the only one I remember is on Sam Brown on the second to last drive, I think. Yeah. Or on the last drive, there was an unsportsmanlike on him. That one, yeah, it was unsportsmanlike. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, there was a defender standing over him, which, by the way, that is a penalty. If that was us doing it, we get flagged, but whatever. Horton should know better. He kicked him, like he threw his foot at him and kind of kicked him to get him off. Yeah, Horton's got to know better. Horton's got to know better. That deserves a flag, 100%. Thankfully, we overcame it. But yeah, that's what it was. To answer your question, he was kicking the defender off of him after the play. These guys sometimes play through injuries we are not aware of. Yeah. I will shut my mouth on that one, but yes, 904 Hurricane, you are absolutely right. Said he kicked him on purpose, but he was trying to get up and they wouldn't let him. Yeah. Let's see. Let's scroll back, see if I missed anything. 3 yard past the line of scrimmage. They were at the goal line. Oh, you're talking about the downfield. 3 yards plus box past the line of scrimmage. They were at the goal line. That rule does not apply. I think they were like at the 5 or something. Hang on. Where were they on that play? Were they inside the 3? Because that's a good point. We'll probably get into it on Flow Show later. George needs to stop costing us penalties also. Again, I don't think he deserved that flag, Robbie. I think that was ticky-tack. That was a little chippiness after the whistle, and they looked at our guy and threw it to him. In the last game against VT, he spun the ball after a touchdown, and he got flagged for that. Like, are you kidding me? Obviously, it didn't matter at the point. It was early, and it was after a touchdown, but come on. That was terrible. But yeah, overall thoughts on the game, obviously happy. We're 6-0 heading into the bye. A chance for guys to heal up a bit, rest. And a chance to adjust things, especially on defense. Offense, I really have no complaints. Just please get me Jalen Rivers back. Markel Bell, hey, I appreciate your effort at left tackle. You're doing a great job, but you are not ready to carry that load. You've done a good job, as best you could filling in, but you need some more time. And Jalen Rivers, if he comes back in, that would really change things on offense and really, set the tone on that offensive line. But really, my only complaint on offense is just, Cam, be patient. Don't force it. Don't force things. You do that, we'll be fine. Defense, just communicate better. The mental lapses are really concerning. All these big plays. Cal, if you notice, we dominated time of possession. We dominated them in yards. We had 575 to their like 320 something. But they made the most out of their 320 something. It was these huge chunk plays, which we shouldn't be allowing those. Minimize those big plays and we'll be okay. I don't think Wesley's play was targeting, but very easily could have been called as such. Yeah, it was bang bang. I'm not I'm not going to dance around it. Yeah, that one went our way, but we took advantage, as teams should do. They did not. Cal folded after that. I think the guard position is more of an issue than Bell, just my opinion. I don't know about guard. I think center, is a little bit more concerning for me than guard. I'll just leave it at that. Not as consistent as I would like. How was Bell there and not Francis? I think because McCoy is playing inside a little bit. I would like to see McCoy at left tackle, honestly. Don't move Francis because he's doing fine at right tackle. Moving from right to left tackle is very difficult. It's like doing something with your right hand and all of a sudden you got to do it left-handed. It's not as easy as you think. So leave Francis where he is. He's fine. Yeah, I think McCoy's had to come in and play a lot of guard. So that's why we haven't seen him much at tackle. In an ideal situation, if Rodriguez is healthy, that's an injury that's kind of hurt us. If Rodriguez is healthy, you plug him in at guard and you put McCoy at left tackle, and you don't have to put Bell out there. Good news with Bell, though, I think he's getting valuable experience, which will pay off next year. But again, I need to see Rivers back soon, like sooner rather than later. We need him. I really thought we had too deep on the O-line. It looks like the only option we have tackle is Bell. Again, like I was saying, we have a couple of guys that are out. Rivers and Rodriguez are really prominent on that O-line, and them being out kind of hurts the depth a bit. But they'll be back. Thanks for the show. See you on the Flow Show tonight. Yep. I will see you guys tonight. Thank you for joining me. I will finish my cafecito. Please like and subscribe. And as always, you know what it's about. It's about that you. Go Canes. And enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys.